Yeah. So if you want to share your story with the guys on this channel, man, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, happy to share it. So yeah, my story basically starts at university or college, as you guys say. It happened in my first year. Um, yeah, so during college, you know, you're starting, you make a lot of new friends and all of that. So I'm a tall guy. I was an American football team. I was like a lineman, and a lot of my teammates they'll be getting girls, and like everyone around me they're getting girls, they're sleeping with them. So I've kind of thought, right, I felt that pressure to do the same thing, but it wasn't cutting for me. Like it's not that I'm an ugly guy or nothing. It's just that I don't think I knew about the seduction and all of that. So I'll be going to girls' dorms and I'm not closing the deal. And it kept happening. And it got to a point where like it became like a streak. The guys were making fun of me, calling me the Undertaker. I got a streak that I'm not getting no girls. So well, like I'm trying to still do my thing, but it's getting to me. It's getting to me.
Mm.
So after practice, I say to one of them, I'm gonna call him Sean. I'm gonna call him Sean. So I say to Sean, like, yo, where's the hose at, innit? Like, where's the hose? Like, I really want to hit this street. So he actually knew where the hose were, innit? So there's this one girl we're gonna call her Tasha, innit? That's my real name. We'll call Tasha.
If you can get a little closer again. Yeah.
Yeah, there's this one girl. I'm gonna call her Tasha, but that's not a real name. I'm just gonna call her Tasha.
Okay.
Yeah, and so he showed me videos of him and Tasha. She's giving him blows. She's sleeping with him. She's even got a camera whilst giving him blows. Like she's on it like that. She's on it like that, and I'm like, wow. And she's already hit two other of my teammates in the American football team.
Okay.
So I'm like, yeah, I'm like,
she belongs to the team.
yeah, she belongs to the team. I'm like, it's rite of passage. But I'm like, nah, that's like a last resort. I don't want to go. I don't want that to be my first thing at uni, innit?
Yeah.
So we went past, and I was like, oh, I'm really not getting her. So I hit her up, innit? So I hit her up. I didn't tell her where. It was Snapchat at the time. I didn't tell her where I got a Snapchat, and then she came to my house, came to my uni comps. So we're all vibes in and all of that. I'm feeling her, she's feeling me, and this might sound irrelevant now, but it's gonna count later on in the story. Like I'm on the bed, she's on the chair, so she's sitting on the chair. So it's one of those rolly chairs. So I use my foot to try and move her closer, innit? But I actually, and she's like, "Oh, what are you doing with your foot?" And I'm just trying to move you closer. Remember this point because this is an important point later on in the story. So I'm doing my thing, well, my shitty thing, and so whilst I'm doing it, she asked me where did I get her, how did I get a Snapchat? So my dumbass actually told her where I got a Snapchat from, and it's from the guy in the team, and she was just like, she's all bugging out. She's like, "Oh, I'm not a hoe. I'm not a hoe. Like that's not me. That's not my lifestyle." I'm like, I'm trying to like say, "Oh, I'm not judging you," and then I'm still trying to do it. And then once I said where I got it from, where I got her thing from, she wasn't seeing nothing in it. She wasn't trying to do nothing anymore. So she was saying, she just went straight for the, I'm not consenting to this. She didn't say no. She just said, I'm not consenting to this. And I'm like, what the f-? So I kicked her out, innit? Because I don't want none of that rape shit. So I kicked her out. And yeah, I just chucked her up as another L for me that I'm not getting. So I just kept it moving. So couple days later, my friend's got a soccer game, and I'm going to the field. Bear in mind, she's in the same university as me, yeah? So as I'm going to the field, on my way there, I see her. And I'm just thinking, I'm walking, I'm thinking, is she going to say wave to me or is she just going to ignore me? She just crosses the road and then walks past me. So I thought, all right, cool. It's like that, innit? like it's an awkward thing. Keep it moving. So a month go by, and there's this big university party. So one of my friends, I'm gonna call him Frank. He doesn't come to this university, but he comes to the event as well, isn't it? So whilst we're at the party, Frank's there. He's just standing there, vibes in, and I see her at the party, innit? So I told Frank, hey man, see Tasha there. She's a hoe, innit? And he's like, oh okay, cool. So at the end of the party, like Frank's rushing me to get up to drop me off. I'm like, why you drop me off? He said, yeah, I'm gonna have sex in it. I'm like, oh, with who? And he's like, with Tasha. I was like, okay, he's gonna sleep with Tasha. So I was like, all right, cool. So he did his thing, and I'm just sleeping, innit? I'm sleeping after a long night of drinking at the club, innit? And then he calls me like early in the morning, saying he's coming back to my place, that he needs to talk, innit? I'm like, why? Okay, cool. So he comes, and then he tells me in person that like he slept with Tasha, and then whilst he was sleeping with Tasha, they were pillow talking, innit? And he asked her, is there anything, how's university? And she was like, oh, yeah, university's been good, apart from this one situation with a guy called Rick. Yeah? And he's like, as he's my friend, he plays dumb. He's like, oh, why do you have a bad situation with Rick?
Yeah.
He's like, he's got tendencies. So I got tendencies.
Crazy.
And I'm like, he's like, Rick? And he's like, so he poked the bear a bit more investigative. So she said, yeah, he doesn't understand the meaning of consent, and he's got a foot fetish. So remember when I said I was drawing my foot to bring her closer? She tried to say to him that was a foot fetish, that I was rubbing up my foot on her private parts and all of that. She was saying that. Then remember I said I went to my friend's game.
Yeah.
She said I stalked her. She went to train. She was training at her sport, and then I knew where she was, and I stalked her. So when she saw me, she ran across the road for her life, and she almost got hit by a car. Yeah, that's in her warped vision. That's what she said. Yeah, and then oh my god, this is pissing me off. She also said this. Says, like, next time she sees me talking to a girl, she's gonna talk to that girl and warn me of me and my tendencies, fam.
Wow.
Yes.
And
so
she willingly came over, right? She came over to your place.
Yeah, man. Don't put a gun to her head. No one done nothing. She came over willingly.
Yeah. She was just mad the way that you cut things off, because she couldn't manipulate you, and you immediately cut her off and you sent her on her way. And she felt some type of way about that, so she came up with certain things but that's like a huge accusation, you know. That's something that's serious. That can like ruin your life, like you were telling me in the email. For real. And like I work with children as well, so yeah, that's my career done. University's been, if that accusation comes to light, university was a waste of time, because I'm the field I'm working in. That's a waste of time. So it would have just ruined me, for real. Mm-hmm. So what happened next is I spoke to my original friends who has her, and I told her, hey, we need to meet up with her, man, because this is some BS, isn't it? So we met up with her. It was a bit feisty, but we managed to like talk it and let her know that what she's saying is like it can ruin me, innit? That she needs to think about what she's saying. That stuff wasn't like that. So apparently she tried to she called my other friends saying, oh, I intimidated her and shit like that. But eventually
eventually, on like a couple months later, I'm in the club. She just randomly comes up to me and like apologizes for everything and all that. But it is what it is, man. That me up for a whole week. I didn't go to no lessons for a whole week. One day I didn't even eat. Because having that thought of being like accused, like it sent me into shock.
Yeah.
So I was just watching videos. But like, because I'm thinking, I can't have this happen again. I need to improve my game. So obviously you see them dating coaches about, that advice. And then eventually I found AMS. And AMS was just saying real stuff.
Yeah.
And then with AMS, I found this whole red pill community. And then I found your great channel as well, man.
Appreciate it.
And then since then, my whole mindset's just changed. It's not just chasing girls. It's more about, getting on your purpose and being a better man.
Yeah. So was that your first, so that led you to the red pill? Did you have any other relationships or anything in the past that maybe like also contributed to it, do you think?
You know what? There's a lot of situations in it that I see. Like, how can I say it? All right, I come from like a single, like mother, like basically single mom home, yeah. And my mom, everyone says their mom's different, but my mom, she's like in her 60s or reaching 70s, and she when she divorced my dad, she started working from home, innit? So that way I don't get into trouble or shit like that. And I'm from that, I'm thinking every woman's doing that. I'm speaking to single moms, they're going partying, they're bringing men around the house and all that. That kind of blew my mind, because I was like, if my mom's doing that, ain't every woman doing that? And I'm finding out not every woman's doing that. So that's another thing.
Yeah. That was a big thing for me too, just because my mom really wasn't like that either. And I always just thought that was like the norm, and she was just like, I thought all moms were like that too. Like all single moms were kind of like the way she was, like a good woman, if you want to call it that. But, like the more I talk to people, like just like the more stories I hear and like my friends and stuff, like it's not all like that. Like that's the exception to the rule. Yeah.
Yeah, it is for real. And then just I'm from like South London, and that's like a rough area. So girls just do grimy stuff. We have like a thing where we call them setup chicks. So basically, girls will like entice. Say you're my rival. Like I'll say, "Oh, come meet me." I'll get a girl to say, "Come meet me," and then you'll come thinking, "Oh, I'm gonna have sex," but it's a gang of people, and they're gonna stab you up. So you have girls doing that as well.
So how are the women out there?
Oh, they're just like America, man. Like America. 100%. In fact, they actually look up to all you Americans, man. It's actually annoying.
Really?
And it's cringy because our accents is like that. They try and copy your accents as well. They're like it's trying to sound like Cardi B, all that.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So they're copying the Western culture already, and it's so unattractive. Like girls that talk like that are ghetto, and they try to just speak like the role models that they see on TV that are like supposedly supposed to be like what women are supposed to be like, and what we're trying to model our women after. It's really bad. It's disgusting. Yeah.
It's pretty bad over here, man, because we like look up to you guys, man. Although we might not say it, but I feel like America's like they start off there, and then everyone else copies. For sure.
Because of our like Hollywood, like the movies and the media, a lot of the big actors, even from different countries, they come here, and then we give them.
Oh, don't even get me started with Hollywood and the shitty rom-coms, man.
Man,
Full of bullshit.
Yeah, straight lies, and you see it now. Like I'll watch like a movie, I'll put one on, and I'm just like, oh my, I can't even watch it to a certain point. It gets me kind of angry, like that.
In your opinion, like who's some like real red pill rappers, man? Because a lot of this rap music I'm hearing is blue pill.
So Too Short, Mike Jones, Larry June, E40, you know.
For sure.
That's like mainly Bay Area, you know. I don't know if Mike Jones is though. Don't quote me on that, but I know the rest are. So that's what I kind of grew up. I mean, once I took the red pill, you can't listen to any other rap music. Like all the rest of it is super simpy, like 100% simp. Yeah, it's just like like my eardrums are bleeding. So, man.
But you know, once you take the red pill, it's just, like, you just notice all the subliminal stuff.
Yeah.
Like when I was at uni, I just noticed all that feminist bullshit. Like they teach it, it's a theory, but they're teaching it as facts. That's what I don't like.
Yeah, so it's obviously super liberal too, right? Like everything's like anti-male. I'm assuming like there's an anti-male undertone. So like in regards to your rotation, do you have any tips for any guys out there that are looking to build a rotation?
To build?
Yeah.
Hey man, I'm sure YouTube your friend, man. YouTube really your friend.
Yeah.
You know what? Just tell the truth, bro. That being honest, tell the truth, man. If you don't, like, say you're dumb enough and say, "Oh, you're the only one I'm chatting to," bro. These girls got super sense, bro. They can tell, bro. But if you let them know, it's like they've already got in their minds, all right, cool, there's another girl, so I'm compete. But if you tell them there's no other girl, they're already in their mind saying, "Oh, I'm the only girl," and then when they find out, it's like you've broken that thing, and that's where the emotion comes from. So I say telling the truth is the main thing. Yeah, and if girls don't like that, it's cool, man. There's plenty others. Man.
Yeah.
I think men need to realize that there's more women than men. So if one don't like you, there's plenty other. Keep going.
Yeah.
And who knows? Because there's more of us. Once we get older, as we get better, she might come back along.
Yeah, she might try to enter the draft again.
Exactly.
Back on the team. Yeah. But this time she's going in the second round, not the first round. She's gonna be the last pick of the draft. She's gonna be cleaning the bleachers after the game too. I'm gonna be like, here's a towel, wipe it off. Like, oh man, this video is definitely not gonna get monetized if I put it up. That's funny. That's cool. Just kicking it.
Man.
So like you said, as an athlete, because I was an athlete too. You had obviously like groupies, right? Well, it was more than just that one girl that you were talking about, right?
Yeah, for sure, man. You know what? After I got the red pill, I kind of went a bit mad, didn't it? Like,
yeah.
Once I got that seduction all right and how to do it went mad. It actually went mad. And I don't want to sound like I'm bragging, innit? Yeah, but there's
no, go ahead.
Yeah, man. There's a time where basically I done the thing with my neighbor, innit? It sounds the whole thing sounds like a porno, innit? So basically, there's a package that was for her. Yeah, there was a package for her, but because she wasn't in, it got delivered to me. So I messaged her, said, "Oh, there's a package for you. What time should I come around?" And then she's like, "Oh yeah, come around 11, innit? 11 p.m. at night." So I said, "Oh yeah, here's your package." And I was like, "Oh, what you doing?" She's like, "Oh, she's watching Greenleaf on Netflix." I was like, "All right, cool, let me come through." So I came through, and then she smoking a zip, we smoking a blunt, we smoked a blunt, and then it's like she started clapping, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So it just went down like that.
Just like that. It sounds like a porno, isn't it?
And you wouldn't see, like, before you took the red pill, you wouldn't have thought like, oh, like I'm gonna just drop off this package. not push the issue, blah blah blah. Like she's probably not into it like that. No, like they're into like crazy stuff, like role play stuff like that. Like that probably was something that she's wanted to do, you know, like it gives her that like that high, like of that role play of just like.
And you know what's so funny? You know what's so funny? Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, so after I did it, I went to my lecture, innit? I went to my lecture. I was like, rah, went to my lecture. And my housemate is also in my lecture. He also goes to my lecture as well, my housemate. So after my lecture, I told my housemate, yo, you know, girl next door, you know, I did a thing with her. And he's like, oh, is it? So did I. I was like, what did you tell me? Yeah, man. So I was like, yeah, so the house has been.
That's just, yeah, that house, she just bringing the men through, man. It's like a drive-through.
Like McDonald's.
Yeah, hell yeah. Like, get in line, place your order. All right, I'll see you next week. Yeah,
for sure.
That's funny. Damn. Yeah, I feel like that's part of like just the red pill stages. Like you go through that stage of kind of like gluttony, where you understand female nature so well to a T that it's almost just like life's on easy mode at a certain point. And that can be kind of dangerous because then it like too many, like my energy's just being expanded and I'm just exhausted.
Question, what's your thoughts on like soul ties? Do you think that's a thing?
Oh, I think that's real. Yeah.
You think that's real?
Yeah, I think that's real. I think that like when you enter a woman, like, and you release, you're giving away some of your energy. All right. And like, no matter how many men she's done that with, you're releasing your energy into her from you. That's why you feel kind of tired after. And usually she's very like attached and, or sometimes she's not, but like she gets like that. Like she says sometimes like she feels like better, like she's more energized after, and it's kind of like a drug to her because she's taking away from your energy and you're pushing your energy out of yourself into her. And like I feel like there's that thing going around where it's like she might be sharing the DNA of past partners. I'm not sure if that's actually true or not, but it wouldn't surprise me at all because I feel like the women that have more bodies and higher body counts, they usually just are super crazy. They start to take on all the characteristics of men almost, and like all the guys that they slept with.
Yeah, that's true, man. That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's definitely like a spiritual aspect to it, for sure. Like you know, like that they have just empty eyes. Like they're usually super like just numb. Like they'll like smoke. What you were saying, like other guys have hit it. Like you can kind of tell. Like you just know, like they're just empty inside because they've already like they've taken on so many male energies that they don't even know what to do with themselves. Like their mind's everywhere because there's all these different men inside them. Yeah.
That's true, man. I can see that, man. I liked your even though you're not a Christian anymore, I liked your videos on the red pill and the Bible. After watching your video, I actually picked up the Bible, started reading it, man. Reading it again.
That's good.
So I'm actually trying to make that like a goal for this year to like finish it.
Good.
So
good.
Yeah, man. So just know you've inspired one person to read.
Hey, that's great, man. That's really good to hear that. The more you take the red pill, the more red pill you get. The more, if you do read the Bible, that's a key to unlock so many more red pill truths. You know, there's so many like truths just in the stories and in the parables. That's why I do my red pill Sunday sermon. I didn't do the last two, but I'm gonna be back on it tomorrow. But there's a lot of truth in there, and it all starts with like mindset stuff. Like you got to get your mind right. You got to get your relationship with the Most High right first. Yeah.
One thing for sure is like you can't. I feel from reading what I'm reading, you can't be like a feminist and you can't be a Christian. It's like polar opposite.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because like God made Adam, God made Eve to be his helper, and then it's almost saying to be equal is like demoting God's own creation to bring it down, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I feel, and that's what feminism is. It's just trying to make the man, like it's holding men back though. It's really holding men back.
How How are the guys out there usually like simps?
Yeah, fucking simps, bro. Fucking simps.
What percentage would you say?
95%, bro.
Damn.
Yeah. No, more than that. 99%.
Yeah, it's.
And it's like I'm talking to people, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel they're not saying their real selves. They're not being honest. They're saying the same regurgitated bull. Oh, it's all right for a woman to do this, and it's like, I know you're chatting shit. You're just saying that to be PC.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had that happen too. It's so annoying. Like they'll do it at work with me, where it's like because like someone know I have my channel or whatever, and like they'll say like, oh, what do you think about this? Like blah blah blah. Like, don't you think women should have equal rights? And they'll say it in front of this girl, like trying to flex, like trying to make themselves look like hella cool in front of her and like put me down and get me caught up. And I'm like, I'm not gonna fall for it. Like I'm so well versed in this red pill game. So I'm just 100% honest. I'm like, yeah, like, no, I don't believe men and women are equal. And I believe that a woman needs to be looking up to a man in order to sustain a relationship. If you look at the statistics since 1960, since feminism came around, you can see just the decline in marriages, the rise in all these different things. Because what happened? There was a shift where women began to try to become men, and women tried to take on the characteristics of men and started sleeping around more when they themselves were not made to do those things. And they wanted to do those things, and we let them do it for all these years, and we see what the consequences of their decisions and the weak men in office's decisions to let these things happen, what's come about now. And now we're at a certain point where it's like, who knows if we're ever going to be able to turn back from this? You know, it's like Babylon, the fall, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, for sure. UK is just messed up. I don't know about America, but we've got like a lot of things to like encourage that mindset. For example, say if a single mother, she's getting money from the government, like if she's got like a husband coming around, if he stays over a certain amount of days in the house, then she loses that amount, if you know what I mean. She loses that government. So it's encouraging her to keep her boyfriend not to be in the house.
And that's crazy because that psychologically is so unhealthy for that child too. Like growing up seeing that. So it's just a mess all the way around. Like kids need their father in the house. And they're encouraging literally, and they do that here in the United States too. It's just they encourage women to live off of government assistance. Like the government becomes their dad, and they really have no need for men except for what you were saying, what you were doing, which is smashing and then heading out. Like that's it. And then it's like if you get one of these bras knocked up, then it's almost best for you to not be a part of that child's life because it's encouraged. It's all just it's a sick system. Yeah.
No, for sure, man. Oh man, this shit's scary, man.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. But we just got to keep pushing this message out. I feel like at the least we can do is try to do something and like just keep promoting this kind of stuff and talking about difficult topics. The media is definitely not like, it's not gonna be promoted and pushed out by them. So even if it's one person a day finding stuff like this or whatever, it's someone out there. It's someone. That's how I found it. That's how you found it. So it is getting out there, and like you're not alone. Like people are searching for answers at the end of the day.
Yeah, for sure. But I don't know how you feel about that Kevin Samuels. You with Kevin Samuels? Yeah. His video, the one average at best, was like over here is like a real. It started like a discussion over here. Like I was able to show girls that video of Kevin Samuels in it without seeming like, oh, red pill, what's this? But I was able to show girls that, make them aware of that. So I feel like someone like him, he's making it. If the red pill's gonna be mainstream, it's gonna be someone like him.
Yeah. Yeah, he has a primarily female audience too, which is huge. So That's definitely. What was the reaction that you got from like the girls that saw it when you showed them?
Obviously, first it's the same thing. First they say, oh, the whole body's the 10, and it's like, nah, he's talking about the face, and then it's mainly the same thing. It's like, bruh, he said she's average at best. Then they went and watched the whole thing, and then they understood the context.
Yeah.
A lot of people, they just watch the clip and they don't watch the whole thing. And then when they're watching the whole thing, she's realizing, yeah, this girl's being rude. She's looking at her phone. Yeah, she's being rude. She's not answering his questions. She's called in a day she's not supposed to. They're just picking up on stuff like that. But they keep complaining about his tone. What do you think about his tone?
See, Kevin's smart because he has one of those tones where he sounds so polite and so just cool, calm, and collected that he's able to just roast the hell out of him and give him the straight truth. But he's just so cool, calm, and collected that really irritates the women that watch it or the women that are against him, because it's just like, here's this guy and he's like not getting super emotional, but at the same time he's just laying out facts and they can't get to it. You know, it's like he does live streams every day with women watching, and he's super cool, calm, and collected about it.
For sure.
Yeah. It would have to be someone like him that would go on like mainstream probably, because he's able to control himself. He's older, like he's been around, you know, so he has more experience under his belt, and the way he handles himself and the way he presents his information, it hits different for them. Yeah.
And what I like, he uses their own verbiage against them. He asks them certain questions, and he just sets them up. They set themselves up, man. Themselves up. What? Because I'm over here. I'm in the UK. Don't really know about you. When did you feel like in the US it went super liberal? Under what president?
Went super liberal?
Yeah.
Way before I was born. I live in California. I'd say Lyndon B. Johnson. That's when I'd say it became super liberal. Yeah, Lyndon B. Johnson.
When did you feel this, like, you know how this feminism agenda is like mainstream now? When do you feel it became like mainstream?
As soon as, I'd say honestly, 1960s. The flappers in the 1920s, like after the war, when the men were away and the women were starting to work again, or were working for the first time ever, and then they got the right to vote, so they started to become more masculine. And then what we saw after that was women raising children because they thought they could be both the man and the woman while the man was off to war. And then when the man got back, and he didn't necessarily have a job because so many women took the field, that was when, I feel like, and then it started, like the media took onto it, and it just started to just explode after that. And then we had presidents that gave women more and more rights, and like voting rights, the right to terminate a child, all these different things, when women have like the most forms of like birth control, these different things. But, men have no real say in that whole process. Men really just don't have say in anything anymore. And I think it just all started with the 1920s and women just being liberated back then. And then just keep pushing, just like in a relationship. Usually in a relationship with a girl, the relationship starts off kind of cool, and then she starts to try to like push you, throw out like a little test here and there. And then if she's able to chip away slowly at you, then she starts to see like, all right, he has a hole here, he has a hole here. That gets to him, this gets to him. I can get him emotional, because she can only leave once you're emotional. She has to leave on that emotional high. So then she starts really just going full out and tries to take over that relationship, become the man, and become the leader of that relationship. The same thing happened to this country. The same thing. So they just kept pushing and pushing and pushing. And we had weak people in office that were obviously blue pill. And eventually right now what we're seeing is the effects of that.
Sometimes I feel like girls just don't like seeing men happy, man. Also with my mum, I'll say I'm just chilling in the house, just happy. playing my PlayStation. She's just angry, saying, "Tim, why?" Because I'm doing the same thing and I'm still getting joy. So it's like the repetition annoys her. Me doing the same thing.
No, yeah, I see that all the time. Yeah, I mean, they don't like you to be complacent at all. It's just hardwired within women because women need you to always be providing and stuff like that. So they always need to see you progressing towards something, even if it's like you've been working hard your entire week and you want to like relax one day. She's gonna like still kind of view that as, this is why I can't live with women either, because they always need you to be just like on something, doing something, like you have to be working towards something, or they're gonna like call you out or whatever, or just start disrespecting you, blah blah blah. And a lot of it is just like they need to just make sure that you're on your purpose all the time and exceeding it and just always being the best option, because they're always going to test that, because they're always looking for another guy to like replace you, basically.
I slept with this baby mum, yeah. She said, when I slept with her, she said, "Oh, I've never done this before." I'm thinking, you got a kid.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of it.
See, it just comes out sometimes, just like it's on repeat mode. They got the same little audio recording, they just play it, they go, and they say, "I've never done this before." It's like, you're doing it right, like you already had kids.
Exactly.
Of course you've done it before. Yeah, a lot of it's just to boost your ego. That's another thing. It's just an ego thing, because they understand like men have big egos or whatever, and if they can get your ego inflated when you're around them, you're going to feel like you feel addicted to that feeling of like them boosting your ego. So you're going to want to spend more time with them. You're going to want to keep sleeping with them. And they realize you keep sleeping with them, keep spending time with them, you get attached. And then she's able to manipulate that time you spend with her to get in a relationship with you. At least like if she removes herself from your life, you feel sort of an attachment. She wants you to feel that way. So that's the only reason, like, she's just boosting your ego, and they just lie about that kind of stuff. Yeah,
for sure, man. And I've just realized, if you let her go to her own devices, like say she'll get you, and then she'll mold you into the man she wants, and then she don't like what she molded, and then she throws you away for a better one. It's like, what the fuck?
Because she doesn't know what she wants. Women don't know what they want. And that took me a while to understand that, because I was like, why is she trying to change me? Why does she want me to be different? And then I changed for her, and then she leaves for a guy that she said that the guy I used to be when she first liked me. It's because I changed, and she was testing to see if I could change.
What's your opinion, if you had a kid, if you had a son, how would you raise the son? And if you had a daughter, how would you raise the daughter?
Well, first of all, I wouldn't have a daughter. No, I'm just kidding. I got only alpha seed in these sacks, baby. No, I'm just kidding. So if I had a son, man, I would take him under my wing, and since day one, we would be going over life and female nature, just from like off.
How would you tell him, like,
as early as possible? First, I'd kind of I would try to homeschool both the kids, number one. And the first thing I would do is I wouldn't directly tell him immediately. I would kind of let him live a little bit of his life. And then we'd go to a park, or we'd be out and about, and I'd say, "You see how she's behaving? Or you see how that little boy just got manipulated and gave his candy away, or blah, blah, blah. Or you see how that little boy was blamed for this, and she really like did that to him, but they just took her side." And I sprinkle in little truths here and there. And I definitely homeschooled him. I think that's a big thing, because all the like indoctrination to create male starts within the school systems. And it creates these like guys that we see nowadays, these soy boys, super soy boys, that are just like out here and just ruin they didn't ruin it for us guys, but they're ruining it for the male species in general. Because we're ready, we get it. So, But those guys that are soy boys, they're gonna have kids, and those kids are gonna grow up soft. So I think it really just starts in the schooling and the way you raise your children. And I think you have to be able to use your own life experiences to tell them, but also while they're living life and while their mind is still young, kind of just sprinkle in some truths. All right. Yeah. Like I wouldn't fully red pill a little child though, either.
Yeah, you can't just tell him, little Timmy bitch.
Nah. But I think like little truths here and there, like if you see something and then they're like, Daddy, why is it? Like you can kind of like tell them like this is why, blah blah blah, but not get into like too much detail, but like just little pieces of it.
Would you ever have a talk with him where you just full on just tell him, or is it always in doses?
Yeah, I would.
At what age would you do that?
I'd probably do it around 8 or 9. Mm-hmm.
And then daughters.
Oof. For a daughter, man, I'd let her, we would be reading the Bible a lot. I would just be like, listen, you're going to have friends that you're going to grow up with, and their moms are going, and their dads aren't going to say anything. Their mom's going to let them do whatever and think it's acceptable. And you have to realize that you have to value your womb. Okay. And you don't let anyone just in there. Okay. And that is for your husband. It's sacred. So don't give it away to other people. And you really just have to, man, I didn't even think about having a daughter, but it would be a nightmare, man. Like straight up, because I don't know, she's not having social media, at least as long as she's living under my roof. She's also gonna be homeschooled. I'm gonna be monitoring her friends, like the music she listens to, because it's just everywhere, man, to influence all these kids. I'd give her the talk very early, like as soon as she's able to comprehend certain things, like 3, 4.
Yeah, for real, man.
Yeah.
I remember Kevin Samuels. He had the guests, and they were asking about I think it was Kevin Samuels or something. But yeah, he had a guest, and she asked like when should she talk to her daughter about like boys and stuff like that, and he said like it was about dating. Sorry, it was about dating. Like when should her boyfriend start dating? And he said that at 12 that she should start dating, and that they should do dates where like both parents are there. So say the boy gets the ice cream, goes to an ice cream date, but the dads are there as well. So it's just easing her into it. What do you think of that? What is dating?
I don't think they should be dating at that age, my opinion. I don't know. I'm not an advocate for that because it's just I guess it teaches you life experiences, so to speak, but dating at that age is just so young and so early that it's just a waste of time. It really is. Like, I'd rather sit down with the child and just explain to them what it is. And, if they choose to listen, they choose to listen. If not, I did the best I could. And we'd be watching like red pill content and reading red pill books. And I'd say like, we're reflecting on this. All right. This is going to be like part of your education almost. Yeah. Like I would do it that way. Like, I feel like dating at that age is just it's such an early age to be dating, in my opinion. When I was in school and I was chasing after girls and then I did that, like I look back and I'm like, that didn't even teach me anything. Like, it was just like I could have been working more on basketball or something.
You know how at uni, like girls go there free from their dad and they just go crazy.
Yeah.
But there's also some girls that I've seen go to uni and they didn't go crazy. They were just keeping focus on their work, even going to even helping out with the church ministry. How do you think they got their daughters that way to not go crazy?
I think, and my stepdad did this with his daughter. You have to raise your children up in the Word of God, to be honest. And like, it's straight up like, you have to be real with them, because that's how he was with her. You have to like say, this is the real world. This is what can happen. This is what's promoted. This is what I expect of you. And you need to trust your father. Number one, the Bible says it. Like, we would be breaking down, like, you have to raise them in the Word, and they have to have some type of fear of God in them. They have to be, they have to put God first, number one. Like, the Most High has to be number one in their life, because like, even when she's not around you, she's going to have that accountability, hopefully, of, there's a God, there's something out there that's greater than me, besides my father, that is holding me accountable, and I will be judged on what I've done accordingly in the future. So I would put the fear of God in her first, and I would just say, like we'd have serious talks, like I said, but I think it all starts with having a relationship with God, putting him first. Truly.
That's real.
Yeah.
That's some real, man. Real.
Yeah. And maybe not for everyone, but a lot of us are eventually going to want to have kids. Like, that's just the truth. Like, we're made to procreate, to keep life on this earth. Especially as a man, like, you feel like, well, women too, but we're constantly having that feeling. So you have to know what you're going to do once you have children. Like, you have to already have a game plan, and like how you're going to raise them. And it's not just like, I'm just bringing in life into this world, and I don't know, I'll just let the public school raise them, blah, 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 or their mom, and I'll just be working. No, like, you have to be actually actively involved and lay down the guidelines of, like, teaching her about being a good wife, being a good woman, being godly, submitting, just valuing her womb. All these things are important, but it's a lot of work, and people don't realize the amount of work that goes into these things, and they just push out children, which is why the world's so effed up, because it's just like, it's a full-time job. Like, having a child is a full-time job, working's a full-time job, having a wife or a girlfriend, whatever, that's a full-time job.
Oh, fucking
real talk. Like, so people don't realize these things. They just think, like, oh, I'm just blah blah blah, like, push out this kid and I have a girlfriend. No, like, those are all 24/7 jobs around the clock. And if you want to start a side hustle on top of that, good luck. Like, you better have great time management skills. So it's just, it all depends on, like, you have to know what you want and what you want to teach your children before they even enter the world, because Satan already has a plan for them before they enter. You know what I'm saying? Like, the world's already it's headed for their necks as soon as they're even created, so to speak. This world's not ruled by godly people. And they're coming for them. Yeah, they're coming for the youth, man.
For sure, man.
Man, this was deep.
yeah, man. This is dope, man. This is dope. I had this. I just remember my last relationship. Innit? That was like 4 years ago. That was like 4 years ago, and it lasted for a month. The whole relationship lasted a month, and it's been 4 years. Yeah. So it was mad because I met on Instagram, Then we went out. First date. This is how blue pill I was. I asked her to be my girl on the first date.
That's why it lasted a month. No.
So I asked her to be my girlfriend on the first day, yeah. And then obviously she came back to mine, and we had
on the first day.
On the first day, yeah. Which, come on, what? I don't even think what type of girl would accept that and like do. Yeah, come on. I said, and oh man, I remember because like when I dated her, on the first day, I was like, oh, you got nice eyes. You got really nice eyes, yeah. The next morning, they were contact lenses.
So she was already leading the relationship full of lies.
Yes, contact lenses. And then
I bet her Instagram was full of pictures with contact lenses too, huh? When you first messaged her?
Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro.
Fooled you,
so,
bro.
Yeah, and then that's I think that was another taste of red pill, man, because she was just angry. Like when I'm with her, I'm just tired. I'm like, man, I'm just drained. I'm exhausted when I'm with her.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, yeah, but I'm getting, but it's tiring, yeah. And then, yeah, when I think back at this, so beautiful. So basically, in the UK, we got a festival called Wireless, yeah. It's where all the big rappers come and all of that. So before I got in a relationship, I bought tickets to go to that, yeah. And she told me to sell the tickets. I was like, why do you want me to sell the tickets? She's like, oh, there's gonna be other girls at the festival. I was like, so what? I'm not going to the festival for the girl. I'm going there for the music. And she said, if I go to that festival, then we have this thing called Carnival, Notting Hill Carnival.
Okay.
Yeah, where everyone just listen. You don't take your girl. Don't go Carnival, man, because like guys will just grind up on her.
Okay.
Like there's always like viral videos of girls topping off guys.
Oh God! So it's like a rave.
It's like a rave, a big rave that's a whole day in a street.
Okay.
In a whole block.
Okay.
Yeah. So she was like, if I go to that festival, then she'll go to Carnival, and I'm like, what the? Yeah. So it was shit like that, and then yeah, this is what kind of started the breakup, isn't it? This is like Wednesday. Yeah, so this is what started the breakup. Yeah, we was talking. Like she told me about her ex, innit? How her ex cheated on her and like that. Yeah.
They all have that same story. Yeah.
Yeah. And then she was telling me, and then she was just like, she's just randomly talking about him, and then she was like, oh yeah, he's gonna be at home. At home. I'm like, and she was just trying to say that and keep the conversation moving. And I was like, well, what do you mean he's gonna be at your home? Like, basically what happened is she's been living with her ex this whole time. This whole relationship, she's living with her ex-boyfriend. And I'm like,
she was with you for a month?
Yeah. But she's also living with her ex-boyfriend. So I'm just like, she's putting all this pressure on me. Like telling me I can't go to festivals and all this, but she's all living with a whole ex-boyfriend.
That's crazy. She probably honestly was still with him. Like, to be honest, it was just maybe you were like the side dude. Nice. Like now looking back, like with a red pill lens, you ever think about that? Like, man, I was digging her out. Like, and then like she started catching feelings, trying to control me, but I was still getting some for a month, and she was living with this other dude. Like, so she was living with you too, or she just would come over?
No, she'll just come over.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
Oh shit! That was the sad man. Oh, because you know also what happened, yeah, is we got into like, as I told you, she's draining and all this shit. We got into an argument, yeah.
Yeah.
This girl, she went out, innit? She went to the cinema, she Snapchat the cinema, she Snapchat the drinks. I know she piped the other dude, fam. 100% know she piped the other dude, fam. So yeah, you saying that now, I'm realizing I was a side nigga, man.
Yeah.
But
there are probably more in the mix too.
You
know, like it's crazy.
Because the way it even got deaded is like I called her and I was like, yeah, I think we should have a break, innit? She was like, cool. And then she called back and said, nah, let's break up.
See, you know what she was doing? I'm gonna piece this together. She was basically keeping you on the side and maybe someone else. Plus, she was living with her ex, who they were probably still together, and she was trying to monkey branch and see who was going to give into her her requests to see who she could control easier. So when you said that, like, nah, I'm still gonna go to the festival, blah blah blah, and like you basically didn't care if she went to this carnival, like you kind of just blew her off, and you're like, you're not gonna control me, like you're not gonna control me. She probably did, like, this is what happened. She probably didn't like that, and she ended up choosing the other guy who was more compliant, or ended up staying with her ex, who was she already had control over and full manipulation over. But she knew that like she couldn't control you, so she was just like, all right, I'm balanced. Like I'm balanced, or I'm gonna have to find someone else that I can control. But she pulled it off for a month.
Good, bro.
Did you ever know? Did you find out where she lived?
It was in Kent. I know it was in Kent, but also basically,
did you go to her house? I'm saying.
Oh no, because
right,
you know what's so mad? You know what's so crazy? You know what's so crazy? I was gonna go to her house that weekend that we broke up. Just before we broke up.
Okay.
I was supposed to go to her house.
See it. You're the other guy, man. Yeah. That's how they do it. You won't know these things. You'll be like, why can't I ever like go to her place? Or why is she only call me at night? Like why is she only let me like why am I not allowed to call her, but she's only allowed to call me? Because she had another dude the entire time. Yeah.
Fuck, you know.
You're that guy, man.
Yeah, man. And then what's it? Later, like a couple years later, I just randomly searched her name on YouTube, innit? And she's got like a little YouTube channel. She's got a fiance, and oh my god, she was all painting makeup on his face, one of those prank shit. And I was like, thank I dodged that, bro.
Bruh, that's what I was trying to tell you, bro. Like she was looking for someone to control. So you weren't that guy that she could control, even though she was still with her ex. She found someone that she could control. Because that guy's not going to stop her from going to carnival, you know? That guy's not going to stop her from going to the bar. If he's letting her put makeup on him, she has full control of that relationship, that whole situation. And she views him as like a little boy, like a little pet, like a good little boy. And I'm going to put makeup on you, get you ready, because she clearly doesn't respect him.
For sure, man.
Yeah, man.
For sure. And last bit, I don't want to keep chatting about her, innit? But the last bit I'm gonna say, I think we kept having a lot of arguments about she wanted to do plastic surgery. She wanted to do plastic surgery, and I'm like, your body's all right, like all of that, and she's like, she's a proper. She's all looking at prices, and I'm trying to tell her, leave that alone, fam.
Most of them want plastic surgery.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And if she blows up on YouTube, you know she's gonna get plastic surgery. She's gonna be another IG thought. Yeah.
For sure, man. For sure. But yeah, I just keep thinking, like, sometimes people look at their own relationships and think, oh, it's all them. I'm just looking at the I did, man. I was like, that's why I don't rush into things now, man. You can't, like, relationships like a big thing. Like, you can't just jump into shit like that, man. You gotta plan it.
You gotta know what you're getting into. It's a lot of work that I quite frankly don't see a return of value for the time that I'm putting in for my investment, which I'm sure you don't either. So it's just like, I'd rather just casually have a rotation or just not even deal with them for a little bit, like take time just to work on myself.
For sure, man, for sure.
I appreciate you joining the Zoom and sharing your story with us.
Yeah, man, love it, man. You're a legend, man. You're doing your thing.
Appreciate it. Thank you, bro.
Doing your thing. Definitely one of the few, many I watch, man.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate it.
Yeah. See you around, man.
All right. Catch you later.
All right, cool.
Brother.